civil rights, you demand that I eternize your name. Walk ahead. You cover us in shame and I take the blame. Living by the rules to which high school blues. Walk ahead.
We're starting the tour up here at the red rock crushing machines. The miners were using these red crushing mills to extract a lot of gold, silver, and copper from the really hard quartz. It's a real tough stone for mines to deal with. To get all the precious metal out of this hard rock, first you have to crush it into a really fine powder. Back in the mining days, they called it flour, what they turned the rock into, but you know, real fine powdery stuff. Now we keep the front door of the mortar box propped open a little just so you can look inside. Inside the mortar box, there's a row of 5 of these cast iron crush pads bolted to the floor. And when they feed the rock into that slide in the back of the mill, the top half of the machine is already running, powered by a big steam engine. There was a big belt turning the wheel on the side at 50 RPM. As soon as the cyanide barrel is empty, they're going to pick one lucky miner to hop inside with a little dustpan and scrape the bottom of the barrel. And at the end of each day, everything they gather from the cyanide barrel, the shake table, and the sluice table, they're going to add it to the amalgamation table and let the metal soak into the mercury. Then the assayer, the science guy, will come back and grab the wood paddle off the side of the mill. He's going to scrape the table clean. He's going to carry the whole glob of mix over to the gift shop where you checked in for the tour. That's actually part of his original mad science lab and the stables. But we still have his mercury retort machine over there he used for the last step. Looks kind of like a miniature moonshine still. But it's called a mercury retort machine. It's in 2 main halves. You have a cooling pot on one side, you have a big heating pot on the other side. That's going to heat the mercury to just under 1,000 degrees Fahrenheit.
Buchanans keep provoking. Blood red sun starts choking. Can anyone stand this nonsense?
Keep the candle lit. But the sardine can, that was the most popular reflector dish back then. I really don't think it did a lot for the candlelight, but it did keep her hat from catching on fire if you dropped her hammer on the ground.
Now rats can shine, jokers got silver lining, Holy Mary sings.
Gold in Julian, it was first discovered by a cattle rancher in October 1869. This cattle rancher, Fred Coleman, he had a little group of cows down in Santa Isabel where Dudley's Bakery and Don's Market are now. But that year that he found the gold, 1869, started with a real severe rainy season. The entire west coast was hit with a lot of big storms and a lot of flooding. Well, the floodwaters stirred up all the sand in our streams. So that October, Fred Coleman rode his horse over the mountain, and when he stopped at the top here, he stopped at a nearby stream to let his horse drink some water, and he could see gold all over the sand. Well, he found a whole ounce of gold right away. So he knew it was a big discovery. The tunnel, we have a lot of old junk stacked up on makeshift shelves. This is how all the mines stored their supplies in the old days. They didn't have any law enforcement for a long time, so all the gold mines stored their supplies inside the tunnels like this to prevent stealing and looting. The High Peak mine has 11 mine levels, 11 floors, and we're going to walk into it right in the middle on level 6. Great. We're going to see a lot of gold right around the corner. One of the minimums they worked with underground is they wouldn't touch a quartz vein unless it was at least 10 inches wide. That's why they left the thin veins of rock in the wall around the corner, even though they're packed full of gold, silver, and copper. They're going to hammer that steel bar 4 feet into the rock like a nail. Every time a hammer strikes the end of the bar, the worker holding it gives it a quarter turn. Then a hammer hit and a quarter turn. On and on till they're 4 feet into the rock. And the whole time they mined here, they used regular gunpowder for blasting, even after dynamite was invented. They actually made their own dynamite sticks right here in the tunnel. The powder man will hand you a hollow grass reed full of powder for the fuse. As soon as you poke that grass reed into the top of your charge, you have homemade dynamite. Now while the powder man is cutting the grass fuses, he's going by his fuse timing sign. But the powder man is going to stay in the mine tunnel for the fun part. Once all the setup work is done, we have 5 little fuses peeking out of the wall, and the rest of the mine crew's gone outside for safety. The powder man's going to light the fuses with his candle hat and run as fast as he can down this tunnel without letting the candle go out until he reaches the jump hole. We're going to see the jump hole on the way out. So he'll reach the jump hole and duck inside around the corner of the rock. And when the first one explodes, he'll count them off. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Huge explosions. Then this intense blast wave is going to race through the tunnel past the jump hole, dragging a wall of dirt and debris with it. It always blew out his candle hat when it passed and left him in the dark. As long as he heard 5 big explosions and everything turned out fine, he'll make his way out in the dark from there. Well, what if he only heard 4? Bad news for the powder man. He's not allowed to leave that live explosive in the tunnel, so without his candle going, he's going to run all the way back, find the charge that didn't blow up, and he's going to dig it out of the wall with a scraper and the charging spoon. And that's a pretty big risk for the powder man. He knows that grass reed could be gently smoldering somewhere and catch the powder at any second. And then boom, no more powder man.